Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and we're going to go over the AL Central Face of the Franchise Legends. In the AL Central, we have the 5 teams of the Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Indians, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, and Minnesota Twins. And with this review, as always, we're going to give them a Chewie rating. We're going to go over their statistics in real life of what they did while they were on the baseball team that they are representing. What I need you guys to do is hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below what you guys think about the AL Central, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I'm uploading videos, and let's get into this AL Central Face of the Franchise Legends review. Paul Konerko. First up, we have the longtime Chicago White Sox first baseman Paul Konerko, 97 overall, right-handed throwing, right-handed batting, secondary positions of none available. He played first base and DH with the Chicago White Sox. He kind of took over the Frank Thomas role once Thomas had moved on later in his career. He has diamond hitting, common defense. With the Chicago White Sox, Konerko batted .281, had an on-base percentage of .356, a slugging of .491, an OPS of .847 with an OPS plus of .120. He had 2,292 hits, 432 home runs. He had 1,383 RBIs and a WAR of 29.2. He played with the club from 1999 to 2014. In that time frame, he was a 6-time All-Star. He won the 2005 World Series with the club, and he was the ALCS MVP on the 2005 World Series run. This guy was a power hitter for the Chicago White Sox for over 10 years. He had an amazing swing that just absolutely crushed balls. Let's look at his attributes. He has 96 contact versus righty, 107 contact versus lefty, 95 power versus righty, 106 power versus lefty, 100 vision, 96 discipline, 98 discipline, 106 clutch. For his fielding, he has 60 fielding, 60 arm strength, 62 arm accuracy, 57 reaction, with 35 speed, 6 stealing, 4 base running aggressiveness. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks: hitting machine, bomber, 20/20 vision, walker, pressure cooker, unbreakable. So he has the important hitting quirks, which obviously he was a big time hitter, big power guy. Looking at his attributes, this kind of looks like the Fred McGriff card from the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, he's a bigger body like Fred McGriff is. He was a big body like Frank Thomas. Not as big as Frank Thomas. This card's a little bit better than the Fred McGriff, but he has about the same vision. He has good power, good contact. He had a pretty good swing in previous games. I don't know how his swing is this year. He has terrible fielding, big body or not. I'm going to give him 3 Chewies. I think that's the same rating I gave Fred McGriff. Go check that video out and kind of compare him to Fred McGriff. I really think it's the same card, just the right-handed version of Fred McGriff. But we're going to go with 3 Chewies for Paul Konerko. Good power bat, terrible in the field. I think there's better options at first base, so that's why we're going to go with the 3 Chewies. Jim Thome. The Cleveland Indians face of the franchise legend is first baseman Jim Thome. He's 99 overall, left-handed batting, right-handed throwing, secondaries of third base. He has diamond hitting, bronze defense. He's a huge body at first base at 6'4", 220 pounds. He played with the Cleveland Indians from 1991 to 2002. And then he came back to the franchise when he was a little bit older in 2011. He won 1 Silver Slugger and had 3 All-Star appearances when he was on the Cleveland Indians. He played at some other places as well. He played on several teams in his career once he left the Cleveland Indians. But we're going to go over the stats for when he was just with the Cleveland Indians, and I'm going to give you his career totals for some of the traditional stats such as home runs, hits, and whatnot. While he was with the Cleveland Indians, he batted .287, had an on-base percentage of .414, had a slugging of .566, an OPS of .980 with an OPS plus of .152. So those numbers show that he was a great on-base guy, and he absolutely mashed the ball. OPS plus of .152 is ridiculous. Like, that's some MVP season type stuff if you look at some of the guys' MVP years. That is a higher OPS plus than I think Chris Bryant had his MVP year when he played with the Chicago Cubs. He hit 337 home runs. On the Indians, he has 612 for his career total. He had 937 RBIs on the Indians. He has 1,353 hits with the Indians. For his career is 2,328. He's a 48 WAR with the Indians, and he's a 72.9 WAR for his career. So this Jim Thome was an absolute stud. Jim Thome was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018 along with Chipper Jones, and he was just one of the best power hitters whenever I was growing up. He absolutely mashed right-handed pitching for a lefty. He had left-handed pitching pretty well, but pretty much if you were righty and you were facing Jim Thome, there was a good chance he was taking you yard. Let's look at his attributes. He's 119 contact versus righties, 89 contact versus lefty, 125 power versus righty, 94 power versus lefty, 65 vision, 125 discipline, 115 clutch. In the field, he has 62 fielding, 72 arm strength, 60 arm accuracy, 58 reaction, 41 speed, 13 stealing, 14 base running aggressiveness. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, walker, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. So he has the 3 big quirks for hitting. He doesn't have any other quirks, which is kind of disappointing. He only has 5 quirks total. That might be the lowest of the face of franchise legends. The thing about this Jim Thome is he could be the answer of what you're looking for at first base, but he does have really low vision, which is disappointing. I wish he had higher vision. I'm not even sure why his vision is so low. I don't think he struck out that much. He had a huge difference in his batting average and his on-base percentage, which means he walked a lot, which I know has to do with discipline, but I would assume that also means he has good vision and he sees the ball well. Otherwise, he wouldn't have walked so much. But whatever. Against right-handed pitching, he's going to absolutely mash. He has great power numbers. He has a very glitchy swing in the game. He is that big body, so I don't think his defense hurts you that much because he's going to knock down a lot of balls like Frank Thomas did last year. I'm going to give this Jim Thome 4 Chewies because he has ridiculous power, especially against righties. I think he'll be more than fine in the field. Now, his vision is a little bit low, but I know he has a glitchy swing. I'm hoping with that lower vision, it's more like a Mike Trout or Matt Olson type thing with the vision. And I don't know if his PCI will be that small with the contact he has. He's definitely a guy that you could at least platoon against righties and get another first baseman to go against lefties, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I'm going to give him 4 Chewies. Let me know what you guys think about him, because I think there's going to be some difference in opinion about this card. I think some guys are going to rate him lower. Some guys are going to think he's even higher because of his power. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Al Kaline. There is no surprise to me that the Detroit Tigers face of the franchise legend is Al Kaline, the 99 overall right fielder. I mean, he has the nickname Mr. Tiger for a reason. He played with the Tigers from 1953 to 1974. He played 22 years with the Detroit Tigers. He's right-handed batting, right-handed throwing. He has secondary positions of first base. Left field, and center field. He has diamond hitting, diamond defense. With the Detroit Tigers, he batted .270. With the Detroit Tigers, he batted .297 with an on-base percentage of .376, a slugging of .480. He had an OPS of .855. He had an OPS plus of .134. He had 3,007 hits, 399 home runs, 1,582 RBIs, a WAR of 92.8. He was an 18-time All-Star, a 10-time Gold Glove. He won the 1968 World Series with the Tigers. He won the 1955 batting title, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1980. He had a very long, very good career. Definitely a guy that got a lot of base hits. If you look at his career numbers, he would have batted over 300 for his career if it wasn't for the last couple years where he might have played a little bit too long, but he ended up getting 3,000 hits because of it. Let's look at his attributes. He has 107 contact versus righty, 122 contact versus lefty, 87 power versus righty, 95 power versus lefty, 113 vision, 112 discipline, 117 clutch. In the field, he has 96 fielding, 93 arm strength, 95 arm accuracy, 88 reaction with 62 speed, 51 stealing, 50 base running aggressiveness. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, 20/20 vision, walker, soft hands, quick reflexes, cannon, sniper, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. I mean, he has all of the quirks needed to be an outstanding card all around. The big 3 for hitting. He has a soft hands, quick reflexes, the stuff needed for an absolute monster of an arm, cannon, and sniper. This might be the best card in the face of the franchise legends. He's all around a stud. I mean, the only thing he doesn't have is he's not a switch hitter, and he's not super fast with only 62 speed. But in right field with a good reaction at 62 speed, he's probably going to be more than enough. And worst comes to worst, you can play him at first base, and he's going to be locked down at first base if you're worried about his speed. Guys, This is the first for the face of the franchise legends, and I think this is probably the best card. Al Kaline, Mr. Tigers, going to get 5 Chewie. He is the complete card. He is all around an absolute stud. He gets 5 Chewies. He's the only one so far to get it from the face of the franchise legends, and I think he deserves it. This card looks amazing. I know he's a pretty good swing. I'm really excited to use him. This is a card that I'm definitely working towards. It's unfortunate that the Tigers Team Affinity cards were kind of poop before him, but hey, this one really is going to pay off. I think everyone should go out and get this Al Kaline. George Brett. Another guy that's a no-brainer that he's the face of the franchise legend for the team that he played on. And this is George Brett, the third baseman from the Kansas City Royals. 99 overall. He's left-handed batting, right-handed throwing with the secondary positions of first base. He has diamond hitting, diamond defense. George Brett played on the Kansas City Royals for 20 years from 1973 to 1993. He's super decorated as a player. He won the MVP in 1980. He's a 3-time batting title winner. He has 13 All-Star appearances, 1 Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers. He won the World Series in 1985, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1999. With the Royals, Brett batted .305 with an on-base percentage of .369, a slugging of .487, an OPS of .857. He had an OPS plus of .135. He has 3,154 hits, 317 home runs, 1,596 RBIs, 201 stolen bases, and a WAR of 88.6. So George Brett was absolutely filthy as a player in real life. His attributes are 123 contact versus righty, 114 contact versus lefty, 85 power versus righty, 80 power versus lefty, 120 vision, 106 discipline, 123 clutch. He has 85 fielding, 80 arm strength, 82 arm accuracy, 75 reaction with 62 speed, 51 stealing, and 47 base running aggressiveness. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, 20/20 vision, walker, sniper, pressure cooker, unbreakable. So he has the big 3, hitting machine, bomber, walker. He doesn't have anything ridiculous on defense, but he does have sniper, which is pretty important for a third baseman. This George Brett has very good contact. He has great power, great vision. He's going to be absolutely filthy with the stick. He has 85 fielding. I mean, he's going to be good with the glove too. He's slightly less than the Al Kaline we just went over. He's probably in between 4.5 Chewies and 5 Chewies, I got to be honest. But I'm going to give this George Brett 4.5 Chewies. You guys let me know what you think with this George Brett, because maybe he is a 5 Chewie card. He does have a pretty glitchy swing. I think his defense is a little bit of a letdown, and he's not a big body at third base or if you put him at first base. So that's why I'm going to give him the 4.5 Chewies. As his defense keeps him from getting a 5 Chewies. With the bat, definitely a 5 Chewies. He's more like a 4 or 4.25 Chewies with the glove. Maybe a little bit less than that. But I think he's going to be a great card for anybody that gets him. He's another guy I highly recommend, especially once you prestige this card. His defense even becomes a little bit better. He becomes a little bit faster. That's going to really make this George Brett a 5 Chewie guy. So go out, get this George Brett, prestige him, play with him. I think you'll love the card. But he's going to go with 4.5 Chewies from me right now. Harmon Killebrew. Another guy that was a lifer for his team. Harmon Killebrew, the third baseman for the Minnesota Twins. He has secondary positions of first base and left field. He's right-handed batting and right-handed throwing with diamond hitting and bronze defense. He played with the Minnesota Twins organization from 1954 to 1974 for 20 years. He actually finished his career with a different team. Also, I don't know if you guys know this or not, the Minnesota Twins used to be the Washington Senators. So Killebrew actually started his career out in Washington as a Washington Senator from 1954 to 1960. The Senators moved to Minnesota, to the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis and St. Paul in 1961. So he's with the organization for 20 years, but he actually only played in Minnesota, the city of Minnesota, for 15 years. Well, with the organization, he batted .258 with an on-base percentage of .378. He had a slugging of .514, an OPS of .892, an OPS plus of .145, That's ridiculous for a career. He had 2,024 hits. He had 559 home runs. He had 1,540 RBIs, a WAR of 60.5. He was a 12-time All-Star and 1969 MVP, and he got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1984. So this Killebrew was an absolute stud when he played. And let's look at his attributes. These have some of the best hitting attributes in the game, just so you guys know, especially from the power aspect. He has 102 contact versus righty, 92 contact versus lefty, 121 power versus righty, 125 power versus lefty, 96 vision, 125 discipline, 112 clutch. In the field, he has 63 fielding, 70 arm strength, 65 arm accuracy, 60 reaction, 39 speed with 29 stealing, and 20 base running aggressiveness. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, 20/20 vision, walker, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. This Harmon Killebrew batting is ridiculous. I mean, you gotta put him in your lineup. I'm assuming you probably put him at first base over third base just from his defensive attributes. But my God, 121 power versus righty, 125 max power versus lefty, with 95 plus vision in the contact. He's gonna have a big PCI. He's going to absolutely mash. He has a very good swing. His defense is a little bit of a letdown, and this is where you guys might disagree with me. This Harmon Killebrew, I'm going to give him 4.5 Chewies because of his defense. So he's getting 4.5 Chewies. But his hitting is like 5.5 Chewies. Like, it's off the charts. This might be the best card attribute-wise in the game when it comes to hitting right now. This is what Frank Thomas was last year, but maybe even a little bit better. Like, that's how good this card is as a hitter when it just comes to pure attributes. He is, I don't even know. Like, he's not Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth always has that 125 across the board pretty much, but he's pretty close to it. And he has a very glitchy swing. I just think he's going to be a liability defensively, so that's why he's getting the 4.5 Chewies. But this card is a guy that's a must-have. He is a top 5 in these Face of the Franchise Legends, so you need to go out and get this guy as soon as possible. So that wraps up the AL Central Face of the Franchise Legend review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with my Chewie ratings of the players. And you guys have a great day and be safe.